Chrisean Rock went on a podcast and really reinforced something that has a lot of people concerned about the well-being of her son.
If I said it, he had a disability, then he...
Right,
but it's like,
don't tell me.
I ain't say none of that.
Listening to her talk throughout this podcast, it's clear she's in denial about some struggles her son has, like not being able to walk or talk in any form at 2 years old. And because of her denial about everything going on, she's also preventing her son from getting help, which would greatly improve his quality of life.
It's not even just that. It's like, say if someone, a doctor, anybody speak against your kid or yourself, then you should not accept it, bro.
Anybody that's been around on this channel for a while might know, but for those of you that don't, one of my sons was diagnosed with autism at 2 years old. So I've had to go through the process of having a special needs child, of making sure he has all the support and help that he can get, whether that's speech or occupational therapy, special supports that can help him communicate better and advocate for himself, finding supplements that can help, a diet that works for him, a special school that is there just to support him. If you're a parent and your kid has any type of disability, it is 100% up to you to get them all the help that they need to better their life. And to see somebody like Chrisean Rock that drank and smoked her whole entire pregnancy,
Bring the flute out and real like go. Ladies, one more time.
only to have him and get to a point years later where he's clearly missing milestones. It seems like he needs help and she's refusing to even acknowledge any disability or delay he might have and not get him the help he needs. Not only seems irresponsible, but it also seems very cruel and callous, because her son didn't do anything wrong to be in the position he's in and deserves all the help and support that he can get.
My son does not have a disability. He's developing at his own pace. Like, I can't wait when my son start walking and talking. I'm gonna just be like, exactly.
But I'm Jew, welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
So let's get to NLA Chopper. He get into it with my baby father, I don't know, whatever. He just starts speaking like foul about my son. But all I read was a caption and it just made me mad for real. So I texted him. I said, speaking negatively over a child is serious in God's eyes. Scripture tells us life and death is over our tongue, the power of the tongue. And I won't allow harmful words to be spoken over my son. I said, if there's an issue with Blue, bring it to him, but please remove my child from your speech and keep him covered, not cursed. You have a platform. You're being careless with it. Rethink that. Watch how that very comment will cost you everything. Be careful on speaking about children and people that's literally covered by Jesus. And honestly, I hope you have the same energy when my son is thriving and doing everything he's learning to do. So I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed in a way. And I pray God heals you from the things you don't talk about. And that one day you'll walk in the version that God created in heaven and not the version you created from the environment of being in this industry. I dare you, and I put a heart. I said, I dare you for the rest of the year. Just follow God on out of love, not out of obligation or in secret, but for your freedom. He hearted it, so he said, I'm so sorry. I'm genuinely apologize. My words was cruel, and I've been on my mind every day. I love you. I appreciate your strength. I appreciate your courage. I admire your new walk. I'm effing proud of you, Chrisean, I swear.
That sound, because his response also sounds like he got
hold on.
I might be missing context.
And if it's anything I can do to help, I'm here.
It's a major violation to talk about your son. It's a major violation to talk about anyone's children. We always speak on that.
And then it's like, you don't even know what's going on. So like, all right, boom, let me just get to it. He said, and if it's anything I could do, help, I'm here. The part that really messed with me is that Blueface doesn't seem active in the child's life because of his disability. Hold on. I feel like that's what triggered me, and my anger overpowered my message. I didn't get to deliver any way, shape, or right, and I apologize to you. It didn't deserve my words, and the grace you showed me spoke volume to the season of your life. You're in the right now, and I'm here to support and congratulate you overly. So I said, my son does not have a disability. He is developing at his own pace and hitting his milestones in his own timing. Every child is different, and I'm confident in his growth. If I said it, he had a disability, then he... Right, but it's like,
don't tell me.
I ain't say none of that.
She doesn't have to say her child has a disability. The whole world has eyes. People are putting two and two together and seeing her behavior from when she was pregnant, from when she was drinking and smoking constantly, it seemed like. Because we saw it on camera, so we can only imagine how bad and how often it happened off camera. And the people around her were trying to stop her and check her then, and she didn't care.
Because we all was drinking, even you, with the baby and stuff.
Why are you lying?
Bring the flute out and real like go. Ladies, One more time.
Get yourself together.
Where the bottle at?
Oh my gosh.
Drink it.
She asked for another bottle. I'm just.
No, you can't have no liquor. Yes, I can. I can abort the child tomorrow. It won't hurt me.
He took the door because it's cold. Fucking liquor.
When they were here last time, him and Chrisean was pregnant. Y'all were doing all that smoking and drinking here in the thing.
And there's a lot of harm that can happen to a fetus when their mother is drinking or smoking. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. Alcohol can harm your baby at any stage during pregnancy. That includes the earliest stages before you even know you're pregnant. Drinking during pregnancy can cause a group of conditions called fetal alcohol syndrome disorders. Children who are born with it can have a mix of problems such as medical, behavioral, educational, and social problems. The kinds of problems they have depend on the type they have. The problems can include abnormal facial features, such as a smooth ridge between the nose and upper lip, small head size, shorter than average height, low body weight, poor coordination, hyperactive behavior, difficulty with attention and memory, learning disabilities and difficulty in school, speech and language delays, intellectual disability or low IQ, poor reasoning and judgment skills, sleep and sucking problems as a baby, vision or hearing problems, problems with heart, kidneys, or bones. All of that and more can occur from a woman drinking while pregnant. And we saw Chrisean drink and smoke constantly. But for Chrisean all of a sudden to act offended that people are noticing some delays and showing concern for her son is really weird and seems performative. And I'm not talking about NLE Chopper because he's a dirtbag and he was wrong for bringing that baby into a beef with Blueface anyway.
I ain't say none of that. Watch your mouth. So then he said, thank you for the correction. Just wanted to send you sincere apology.
I like what he said, though. He said, you know what? Thank you for the correction. Because he could have been like, well, shit, my bad, damn. And then now y'all both.
No. It's just like, you know, like,
just don't.
It's not even just that. It's like, say if someone, a doctor, anybody speak against your kid or yourself, then you should not accept it, bro.
That's insane. I'm not saying the medical field and all that isn't scammy, especially when it comes to insurances. But if your child is not meeting milestones or showing some delays, whether it's coordination, walking, speech, anything in between that, especially at a young age where development is so important, then you should take what a doctor is saying serious, especially if it's a diagnosis.
Every at their own pace for all sorts of stuff, right? But there are margins that are acceptable. And whenever your child is behind on all markers, I mean, there is going to be a diagnosis for a related issue to that. Like you could put science has it all down, the numbers. Why doesn't the government just take a 5-minute break and put a law that says no drinking when pregnant? How hard is that? I mean, if you cause a harm to somebody, if you cause a harm deliberate to another human and you inflict harm that will cause them a disability, you get sued to fucking death, you go to jail, right? So why can you give a child a lifelong ailment deliberately and it's all okay?
As a parent, putting your head in the sand and saying, well, God ain't said, so I'm not going to believe it, can be really harmful, especially to a child that may need additional help or services.
Anybody, if they're guessing or whatever, no, the word said what the word said. God said what the God says.
What does that even mean? That's why people have such a problem when it comes to religions and Christianity, because people can use religions to justify whatever they want. There's nothing in the Bible about not making sure your kid is okay or getting them the resources they need if they have challenges. Just acting like something doesn't exist because you don't want to admit it or because it's an inconvenient truth doesn't help anybody. It might make her better to not acknowledge something, but it's hurting her child in the long run, who, if he does have delays, could be using whatever help that she can get, especially with the resources that she has, to get the best help and best supports for her child so that he can catch up sooner than later if possible.
It's really like me, like, protecting a revelation that I heard from the Lord over my son.
Yeah.
And then it's like redirected.
I hate the way people use God whenever it's convenient to them. I hate it with a passion.
And that energy back to that mouth, that tongue, that powerful tongue.
Now, as a parent, as somebody that believes in God, I get the power of tongue and not wanting to speak anything negative on a child's life. But based on her behavior and the things we've seen, I don't think anybody's trying to diagnose her kid for showing concern for him.
Who said I had it? Who said it?
Absolutely.
Is
You're
that
correct.
what you tuning into?
She's not correct. Are they really not going to push back on any of this at all or ask follow-up questions? Anything? Like they're just going to be a yes man in this situation when she's dead ass wrong? When we saw her drinking and smoking and not giving a fuck her whole pregnancy.
Yes, I can. I can abort abort the child tomorrow. It won't hurt me.
To now saying God gave her a message and she doesn't have to listen to anybody else, even doctors, when it comes to the health of her child that she most likely played a part in.
Whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If that's the best he could do, thank you.
And I think that's accurate, though. I think it is the best he can do.
That's it. That's where this conversation ends. There's no pushback. There's no follow-up. There are no questions about diagnosis or her son or plans for support or development or future. None of that. I think people's children, even online, should be protected. But Chrisean actually posts her son a lot, and people with kids or even know like developmental milestones, what's supposed to happen at 12 months, how many words a child is supposed to be speaking at 18 months, when they're supposed to pull themselves up, sit up straight, start crawling, get up and start walking. There are very clear milestones for children, especially at a younger age. So when she shares her son and people are sharing concerns about development, for her just to be like, nah, I'm not listening to y'all, God told me this, it's just super weird and can definitely be harmful to her son if he does need help. And I really wanted to see the comments under this video. When it comes to her son, she's simply saying that God has the last say, not y'all. That's not what she said at all. She didn't say she was taking concerns about her son serious or getting him help or getting him assessed or looked at. She basically was putting her head in the sand and saying, I'm not listening to what nobody says, which isn't healthy or helpful for her son if he does need help. She's not slow. She sees her child's slow development. She just chooses not to call it a disability. Calling it something and not getting help for it are two different things. She seems like she's refusing to even acknowledge any possible delays, which means that she's not getting her son help that he could use if there are delays. Y'all want her to say the baby disabled so bad for what? To knock her down more? Y'all have a blessed day. I don't think anybody wanted her to say the baby was disabled at all. I think her just flat out denial that there is any possible delays or something wrong is scary to a lot of people, especially considering the baby is slow as, I don't like that. There's no need to call that little boy slow or to kind of like slight him because of his mom being dumb, because of her actions and chooses to avoid accountability. This cope is shit. It does feel like she's 100% avoiding accountability. The argument we want to put her down is classic deflection. It centers the adult's ego over the child's survival. My point exactly. A parent's pride shouldn't be put before the child's safety. We all want our kids to be healthy, happy, and achieve the best they can in life. But if there is a developmental delay, a disability, or anything, it is definitely the parent's job to make sure that they are diagnosed correctly and have the help that they need. If she knows something is wrong but refuses to name it, she is denying Junior his voice. By not labeling the condition, she is ensuring he stays hidden and untreated. Right? It's not even about labeling it. It's about making sure he sees doctors and has the help he needs. This isn't protecting him from a label. It is protecting him from the reality of his condition. F her feelings. I think that's a great response to that above comment. Grown men with kids supporting a child abuser, enabling to the fullest extent. They definitely came off like yes men, kind of like enabling or not pushing back against things that they should have in that conversation. The interviewers are yes men. She can literally say anything and they will agree. It definitely seemed that way. It's like y'all are afraid of her, so you leave the subject of her son alone. This is part of the problem. Nobody speaks up for the child. That definitely seemed like a moment where they could have asked how Junior is. Has he had any assessment? Has he had any help? Does she talk to doctors? Like, what is the process? If she said no, she didn't want to speak about it, fine, but just glossing over that subject when we all have seen, again, her behavior while she was pregnant and the struggles that seems like her son has, this is disgusting. That woman doesn't deserve a single ounce of fame, and these guys enabling her delusion is just sad. Gross all around. I cannot believe how many idiots are defending this child abuser. The child abuse thing is coming from how she acted while she was pregnant. Again, the constant drinking and smoking, talking about abortions and really not giving a fuck about being pregnant. I can't wait for my son to start walking and talking. That's sad and disgusting because she's the reason why he can't. I'm always in support of somebody bettering their lives, which it seems like she's doing with this whole spiritual walk now. But I don't rock with anybody weaponizing religion or spirituality to try to cover up something else. In this instance, it's her trying to use it to cover up whatever's going on with her son. As if God didn't give her a message, nothing else is real. Whether she wants to label it or not, those challenges will always be there for that child, especially if he doesn't get help, support, or services early on. There's really no other way to see this other than her being a selfish, prideful, trash parent. There's absolutely nothing wrong with somebody having challenges, delays, or disability. But there should definitely be action on the parents' end to make sure they have all the help and support that they need to live the best life possible. And Chrisean isn't doing that, which just upsets me, man. It does. I wish the best for her son. But shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting, and thanks for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.